Hi, everybody. Mitch Tannenbaum here. Thanks for joining me today. Just a short chat to remind you that November 10th is a very important date for all defense contractors. Let's assume that you've been working diligently on your CMMC level 2 and you've got all of your controls and assessment objectives in place. You're ready to get assessed, and you've done a self-assessment and your score is at least 88, and you can attest to that and you have the documentation to prove that. Well, then you're in good shape. But for a larger group of defense contractors, which is basically all defense contractors, you're going to need to attest to the fact that you are CMMC level 1 compliant. Now, a couple things about level 1. It's a lot simpler, a lot fewer controls, but there is no poem. It's either yes, you are compliant, or no, you're not compliant. Your CEO or somebody like that, CFO, will need to log into SPURS and attest to the fact that you are compliant. The CEO needs to attest to two things. One, that they understand what they're signing. That's really important. And for many CEOs, that might be something they need to get educated about. And number two, they need to attest that they are fully 100% compliant with all 17 controls in CMMC level 1. No poems, no exceptions, no wiggle room. And what's going to happen is that puts the CEO on a collision course where the Department of Justice and that whole civil fraud initiative division that they are funding the government with, millions and millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars in fines. In fact, if you look back, hundreds of millions of dollars in fines. The CEO is setting themselves up for a visit from the Department of Justice saying you've committed fraud, and oh yeah, by the way, the damage is 3 times the amount of your contract awards. So if you had $1 million worth of contracts, then the DOJ is going to go after you for $3 million. So that's a real problem. And unlike level 2, where you might say, well, we don't have any controlled unclassified information, and for a lot of companies that's going to be true, everybody has to comply with level 1. So that's really important to understand. And not only does you have to comply, but it has to be certified in SPRS and SPURS, otherwise it doesn't count. After November 10th, a contracting officer must see your attestation for level 1 or level 2, whichever the contract requires, in SPRS, or they cannot award the contract to you. So let me repeat that. If you don't have the right attestation in SPURS for any contracts or task orders or deliverable orders that are awarded after November 10th, they cannot be awarded if you do not have the appropriate attestation in SPRS. So if that makes you a little nervous, please reach out to us. Thanks for listening.